This is Navigating Seller Hub Part 5, and we're on the last two tabs of the menu here. First is Payments, and there's not much to say about it right now. This is where the Manage Payments pages or page will live once I am switched over to Manage Payments, and I'm not yet and won't be for another month or so I can't really tell you about it. I'm sorry. But rest assured that when I am switched over, I'll tell you all about it. That leaves us with the Research tab, and there's lots to say about this. So, like the other menus, the top level menu item Research and the first item in the menu Terapeak Product Research go to the same page. This is the Terapeak page, and if you have a starter store or no store, you don't get this unless you subscribe to it for an additional fee, and I personally would not recommend doing that. You will not see an ROI from that with the kind of research you can do here, because it really just duplicates the research you can do on eBay itself if you know what you're doing. I'll show you what you can do here. It is handy in some situations. Basically, you can search on anything and get comps and some other information. I'm going to search Victorian dog photo. And I'm just going to leave everything in its default state, although you can get quite granular with what you're searching by filling in all of these fields. The kind of information it gives me is that in the past 30 days, 12 Victorian dog photos have sold. They have a 3.54% sell-through rate. There are 11 sellers, so that means somebody sold two. And this is the sold price range, $4.80 to $40.61. And the average sold price is $16.32. This tells me, on the whole, what the characteristics of Victorian dog photos are in terms of selling and in terms of using these specific keywords, Victorian dog photo. I know because I tried it before, if you write Victorian dog photograph, you only get 3 results. Thus, I know that using photo is a way better keyword. And that's a thing that Terapeak really helps you to do quickly. So I can go through these and see who offered free shipping, when the thing sold, and if it was an auction, how many bids there were, and other information like that. The same applies to more consumer items, not unique one-of-a-kind items. Like I could search for sunblock. It's not a super specific search, so I'm getting all sorts of things. This is what I had in mind, actual sunscreen lotion, and I'm getting some of that. I know now sunblock isn't the best keyword if I'm selling sunscreen. So let's go back and change it. This is better, though not perfect. I'm getting hats still, but I'm getting more sunscreen lotion. So this is great. 84% had free shipping on this, which is good to know. That's pretty par for the course with these kind of commodity items. So I know I should probably offer free shipping. 45,000 sold, which is again, great to know. Sell-through rate, almost 20%. 7,000 people selling these items, average sold price of $17.72. This is great information if I'm considering selling sunblock as a product, or if I have some sitting there and I want to know what the competition is like. And I can also see how many sold of each type. So I could sort on this total sold category. And so I can see that this kind, Tokyo Mermaid Skin Gel, has sold the most. That's interesting. I've never even heard of it. And then even, look, the second one is the same brand. And then we can go down and sort of see the order of popularity of brands. As you can see, this can be useful in a number of ways: for sourcing, for pricing, for deciding how to position your product. I could go into much more detail, but you get the gist of it. That's what Terapeak is like. Now let's move on to the next thing in the menu, which is listing improvements, also to be seen here. Now, this is a very interesting section. So what the deal is here is that eBay picks out items you're selling, tells you things that might indicate why they're not selling. When I look at this array here, I know these 3 items have not been on sale for that long, and I'm not super worried about them. I think they can just sit. This item, however, has been for sale for a long time. It's not selling, even though it's really popular. Look, in the past 90 days, 467 of these Google Home Mini Smart Assistants have sold, but mine has not. The trending online price is $17.48. Mine is $17.25, but this includes shipping. So I think I'm going to have to switch this to offer free shipping to make it competitive. I can go in and do that on the listing. I'll try that out and see if it sells faster. There's a second tab here, underperforming listings, which honestly is so similar to listing insights that I'm not sure why it's a separate thing. So it's the same kind of deal. There's some things I'm selling that eBay deems to be slow movers, and it tells me how many days it's been unsold, also my quantity and my price, and then it gives me the option to analyze the listing. So let's look at this deodorant. This analysis includes some useful information, but you have to take it with a grain of salt and look at it somewhat carefully. So for example, I'm selling a 1-pack of this product for $12.50 plus free shipping. If I look at the sold listing prices and also the current active listing prices, I see there's quite a range. $19.50 seems insane for one thing of deodorant, so I bet it wasn't for one thing of deodorant. I bet it was for a multiple pack. So I'm not sure I can trust this entirely, but it does tell me that in general, the range for this product is going from broader to narrower and also trending downwards. I can see this same kind of information in this graph, and handily I can preview what each data point represents. So if I look at this high price, I see it is for a 2-pack for $14.50. This lower price, $8.99, was a 1-pack, and so on. Like if I look at these lower prices, they're the 1-packs. I look at these higher prices, they're multiple packs. So that tells me I've probably priced my 1-pack too high, because while it's in the overall range, it's more appropriate for 2 than for 1. So I think I'm going to need to lower my price on this. If I want to delve even deeper into these numbers, I can click compare your traffic to the competition. I can see that while my listing turns up in search 9.7 times a day, only 1.6% are clicking through to the actual listing, and no one is buying, obviously. And then for ones that are selling, they're getting 29.2 impressions a day with a 3% click-through rate, and 6.5% of them are selling. So this might encourage me to look at their keywords versus my keywords and improve mine. I can also look down here to compare my listing with other listings. This one is mine, the first one. So I can compare my photo to others, can compare my price and the shipping and whether we accept returns and all of this stuff, and see what I might want to change in mine to look more like the successful ones of others. That is the listing improvements analyze your listing area. Next, we have the sourcing guidance page. This page is more for considering prospective products you might want to invest in or look for by figuring out what has the best potential. And like all eBay data, take it with a grain of salt because it is imperfect, but it does give you some ideas. For example, let's say we're looking for something to sell in the health and beauty category. Let's look at sunscreen. Summer is a good time to buy sunscreen, but this is a good graph for seasonality. So you can see what time of the year certain kinds of items sell, or if they sell all year. And we can see that 71% of sunscreen purchases were under $20, whilst 29% were between $20 and $100. Here we see by brand which have the best growth opportunity score. And eBay calculates this through an algorithm that they explain here. Basically, the higher the score, the better chance it has of selling. These three in green have the most potential. So I can look through and see the top 10 most potential brands. So then I can zoom in on different characteristics and see what other kinds of factors make something have the most potential. This one's great, the top combinations. So it tells you that this brand with this SPF and this formulation and this size has the most potential. If you're looking to go invest in some sunscreen to resell, that's what you should look for if you can get a good deal. These all have good potential, and here's the average sale price. And then there's another way you can use this page, which is that you can start with a search rather than browsing. So sticking to these simple consumer products, let's just say lipstick. I can see the seasonality of lipstick. And then we can see what the top brands are in terms of growth opportunity score. And by the way, don't go on just this. Double check anything with your own searches and comparisons before you invest in anything. We can then go on to see how things stack up by formulation and by type, by shade, effect, and we can see the top combinations. Again, these are item specifics that are specific to the category you're looking at for the most part, and you can go on and see up to 10 of these. You can also use this for non-commodity items like collectibles. Here I've searched on other fountain pens, other being not Mont Blanc, and I can see that they have a bit of a seasonality. Most sell for under $20 and very few sell for over $100. And I can see the most popular brands. I can look at new versus used. For used fountain pens, i.e. vintage collectible, there are some that sell for over $100 and even over $500. And there's more that sell in the $20 to $100 range. Here's the most opportunity for vintage pens. Much the same deal, but this can be useful for used collectible items as well. Now, finally, the last tab in this section is restock advice. And unfortunately, I don't have any to show you. eBay has no advice for me. But if you're selling replenishable items and you keep inventory, eBay will alert you to where you might need to restock. That's a research tab. That concludes our tour of the Seller Hub top menu. If you have any questions or additions or deletions, please leave them below, and please hit the thumbs up and the wee bell icon to subscribe to this channel. And thank you and take care.